episode 15 of the Skyward Cast. I am Joey Craig, aka the Skyward King, here with my co-host, Mr. Delvin Cox. What's going on, man?
My crew puff fly. Anyone touch the pun must die. I give you one try. Now you know you done fucked up, right?
What the heck?
You don't know that song?
No, I don't.
You don't know John Blaze? Yo, I gotta find John Blaze right now.
I don't know.
That is one of the greatest hip hop songs ever. I'm
gonna have to listen to it.
Hold on, I'm gonna play a little bit of it right now.
How can you can play that through this?
Well, we're gonna make it work.
Okay.
But as long as it's like 30 seconds, we're gonna go. We should be fine.
I hope.
Try to supply your physical with my spirit, you tired of this lyrical. I'm a period dreams like Freddie do, no kidding you. Even if I stuttered, I would still join you soon as I kidded.
You never heard that before?
Nah. Who's that again?
That's Raekwon, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, and Nas.
Okay, no, never heard the song, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, okay, is that Big Pun? Yeah, because
that is a famous Big Pun line where he says, "Even if I stutter, I will still shit on you." That is like one of his most well-known hip hop lyrics ever.
That's not my era, man. But
it came out like in 1999. You had to be at least in the hip hop at that time. How old were you in 99?
8.
Jesus, I'm old. Oh my God, I'm old.
Hey man, that's life. It's all
good. That's life.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Other than that, man, how's your week been?
It's been good so far. No complaints whatsoever. Everything's been good.
That's good, man. Yeah. Well, dang, I wish I could say I was busy. I have a lot of sitting around time.
Well, you gotta find something to do, man. You know, you gotta keep yourself busy some type of way.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do things, but it's like, it's not significant things. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, where you feel like you actually invested your time in something that's like gonna lead to something big. Well, that's just right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm at a kind of in a, what do you call that? Like a lull. But yeah, things will get better. But today, I mean, not today, but this week, I mean, in general, has been pretty cool. I got my Nintendo Switch, so I've been on that pretty heavy.
That's awesome. What games did you get?
I got what is it? I got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
You got the wrong one, by the way. Yeah, Let's Go Pikachu.
What? Hey, I didn't pick it. And plus, I like Eevee.
He's a detective.
Listen, Eevee has like the best evolutions in the entire like Pokemon universe. Even though it can't actually transform into them without some weird stone or something. But still, they're still
Pikachu
really good.
Is a detective. That says it all right there.
Yeah, one Pikachu. You can't give all.
That's all you need. He's a detective. He solves crimes.
Okay. Yeah, it's Ryan Reynolds. Trash.
No, he's Detective Pikachu. He's probably running down the street right now catching a crackhead, for all we know.
Oh my God.
You know, Pikachu be out in the streets solving crimes, man.
All right, let's play.
Rolling dice. Pikachu just pulls up on him.
Oh my God, that sounds like it would be like a nice Chappelle Show skit. But yeah, man. Other than that, I got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's a good one.
I just picked that up because I got in the package. It came with like $35 of eShop credit, and so I just put a little extra $25 on that, and I picked that one up.
You know the thing, you're getting a Switch at the perfect time, by the way, because when I got my Switch, there really wasn't much to play except Zelda. And if you wasn't into Zelda, then you kind of was out of luck. Now, don't get me wrong. There were games coming out, but there were games like Splatoon they were more multiplayer focused games. So if you wanted that single player experience, you kind of had to wait till which I ended up having to do. Mario Odyssey came out, or I'm trying to think, did Mario Rabbids come out the first year too?
I think that was later. Didn't they announce that like the E3 2017?
I don't remember. I thought it did. I could be wrong, but I remember specifically because the year when the Switch came out and I got Zelda, we had a big hurricane down here. So I think I didn't have power for like a week or so.
Dang.
And I had games, but the games I had were like either multiplayer centric or Zelda. So I spent my time playing Zelda, and it was cool and all, but I didn't realize until way after that first area that you're in is not that first area you're supposed to be in.
What do you mean?
You played Zelda yet?
No. Is it a spoiler? Because I don't want any spoilers.
It's not a big spoiler, but
I don't want any spoilers.
This is a tip.
I'll figure it out. No.
This is a tip. Because I don't want you to be an idiot like me. Because I screwed up. It ruined the experience for me a lot.
That's the best part, is to figure it out.
Nah, not in this case.
All right, go ahead, man.
The first area is basically a tutorial area. Get the hell out that area as soon as possible. Then the game opens up a lot. That's all I gotta say. That's it.
Okay. Hey, well,
you can do whatever you want to in that area, but my advice: get the hell out that area as soon as possible.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I don't even know when I'm gonna get that, because I think before I get that, I probably want the Pro controller, because my hands are kind of big and
you don't like the Joy-Cons? I thought they were fine with the little thing that comes with it.
Yeah. The Joy-Con grip, it's not bad at all. It's pretty decent actually. It's way more comfortable than actually holding the Switch itself. Like when when the Joy-Cons are on the Switch. But even playing that way is not bad, because I played with a 3DS for years. Which is it's even flatter, and it so if I can do that, this is way better. So, but the Joy-Con grip, when I popped them in, I was like, wow, I can deal with this. It just takes a little bit of getting used to, because the analog sticks are super freaking small and the buttons are tiny. Like, it's crazy that the buttons on the Switch controllers are smaller than the buttons on the 3DS. Like, why'd they do that? Who thought of that? But it works, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sitting there having a good old time pulling them. Like when I first pulled the dang things off and popped them on there, I was like, what? I'm sitting there blown away like I just figured this trash out. I've been seeing people do crap like that since 2017. That's crazy. It's been out there. Yours. Long.
That's the thing that makes it cool.
Yeah.
It's a whole different feeling when it's your system.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still sitting there like, wow, I finally got a Switch. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm adding people on my crap. Like, it is cool to just have that experience of setting it up and really getting to know how it works and all that. Yeah.
Oh, well, since we're talking about the Switch, did you see that Cuphead's coming out for Switch now?
Yeah, I did see that. Okay, so something happened. We had some technical difficulties. We were talking about Cuphead and how difficult it was, and why if I needed to play it, if I was gonna play it, I need a controller that has a true D-pad. And so I was gonna pick up the 8-bit do SN30 Pro, and that was it. That was it. I'm trying to get past this as soon as possible. Every single time we start talking about Cuphead, down goes the connection. I'm cool.
The connection is hard like Cuphead right now.
Yeah. None of that, man. Let's cut this. But yeah, man. What's your opinion on it while we're talking about it?
Cuphead?
Yeah, you gonna get it?
Yeah, I'm getting it. I think it's a great game. I think it's a perfect fit for Switch. I think I'll probably actually finish it now that it's on Switch, because I can take it with me wherever I want to go. And the stages aren't that long, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just difficult. But then what? Like stages probably are like 5-10 minute stages at that, if that. And the game itself isn't a long game. It's just hard as heck, and you got to play it on the hard mode to experience the full game. Like if you don't play it, like if you play it on the easy mode, you don't get all the levels and you don't get to beat the game.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that. It makes it a real challenge.
Yeah, like it's crazy to say that, but yeah, the Cuphead is only one of the few games that if you play it on easy, you don't beat Cuphead. Like it won't get you to the final boss. You like each of the bosses have like I think 3 phases, and if you play it on easy, they won't go to that final phase. You just beat them in the second phase.
That's crazy, man.
So you have to play it at the regular the high difficulty to beat it and experience the full game.
You know what? I might just not experience the full game though. So because I don't have that, man. I don't have that patience. I don't know if I got the right controller, because I can be really good at platformers. I just got to have the right controls. And I absolutely hate playing side scrollers with the D-pad. Like, was it like bottom left?
Yeah. Or
like centered. I don't like have to move my thumb in, kind of like, nah, it's supposed to be where it is on the SNES controller and on all the DualShock controllers. That is the perfect layout. And that is why the SN30 Pro Plus is going to be, I believe, the perfect controller, no matter if it's side scrollers or Switch, just in general, because it's basically set up like a DualShock controller, and it has the grips and everything. Like if you haven't seen it, you need to look it up. It looks insane. That might be my I'm gonna have to buy it. I'm gonna have to buy it like day one. It's gonna be $50.
Today's SkywardCast is sponsored by the SN30 Plus.
You know what? I wish.
Today.
Listen. 8-bit dude, if you happen to listen to this, like I would be the perfect sponsor. Like I'm already putting a good word out there for your product. You know what I'm saying? I'm building hype for you. I'm doing it for free. You don't even need to pay me. Just send me and Delvin, to free SN30 Pro Pluses, and we'll be good, man. We'll call it even.
I'll do a full review on it.
Heck yeah, we'll do a review. Now if you want us to do reviews in the future after that, cut us a little check. But here, I think we good with just that. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Anyway. What's the next topic, man?
Okay, how are we gonna do this? You want to get on the serious news, the silly fun news, or the main event?
Shazam. Let's hit Shazam first.
Yep, that's the silly fun news.
Yeah, got to talk about Shazam. I'm so hyped to hear that the reviews have been so positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
97% Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
29 reviews, which is a lot.
I was thinking 80
so far.
I was thinking 80. Like, and what makes me so hyped about it is because I've been a big Zachary Levi fan since Chuck. Like, Chuck is still one of my favorite series ever. You have not seen Chuck. Look, you need to do yourself that favor today. It is on Amazon, the entire series. It's about 5. I think it's about 5, 6 seasons. Great show. It is. I'm not gonna tell you what it's about. If you just go check it out. Zachary Levi, Yvonne Strahovski. If you don't know who that is, she played Miranda on Mass Effect 2 and 3, I believe. She voiced her, and they actually made her character to look just like her. So, man, that's awesome. Anyway, so that I'm hyped about that. Just to see him get another win, you know what I'm saying, and to also see that DC is like they're having, their luck is changing. They're not just, it's not this big flop, but every time I see stuff like this, it's like, so I'm thinking, well, how are they gonna fix Superman? How are they gonna fix Batman? If they can fix that, man, it would just be complete. But Wonder Woman,
they kind of said how they're gonna fix it. Have you heard the rumors about the Batman?
No, I didn't hear that at all.
Apparently, it's a reboot set in the 90s with a young Batman. Yeah.
So you think they would then use that? So how would they then continue that if to bring that Batman? Because they would obviously pick a younger Batman, or are they gonna pick? Are they gonna make him look older, or Because if it's go ahead.
From what I've been reading, Aquaman was basically a reboot of the DC universe. In terms of they're gonna do more self-contained stories, like even Suicide Squad 2, they said it's a soft reboot. Like Will Smith is not playing Deadshot; it's Idris Elba now.
Really? So that's been confirmed that Idris Elba is taking over.
Yes.
Really?
So I think I think it's a good fit.
Yeah. He would have been that would have been no, that wouldn't have been my choice from the beginning because of course Jon Stewart. You know what I'm saying? We need Idris Elba as Jon Stewart. At this point I wouldn't even mind if he played both characters, but it's probably not gonna happen.
I personally think I thought Will Smith did a good job as Deadshot. I think he was far from the problem with that movie. The problem with the movie was it was a horrible script. It was a horrible script, horrible idea. The only thing that made the movie good was that Harley Quinn and Deadshot were likable characters. There's so many ways you could have did the Suicide Squad better in terms of like, instead of having them go up against this supernatural, I don't want to get to that whole thing about Suicide Squad because it's a whole other conversation we can have a whole other day. But
I'm honestly kind of interested in hearing what you have to say because I have my issues with that movie too. Go ahead.
I'll just tell you my whole gripe with the Suicide Squad. Now you've already established this big DC universe that has Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all these heroes, and this big threat goes on, and you have no one else to handle this threat except the Suicide Squad, who are basically underpowered. And it's like a world-ending level threat. At no point anybody thought to say, "Hey, let's call Batman. Let's call Wonder Woman. Let's figure out." None of them came. So that's one of your biggest problems right there. You have this whole town or city that they're in getting attacked by these monsters and everything. You see this big light out the sky. None of the Justice League worry anything about that. All of them are nowhere to be found. So that's when you kind of set up that universe, it makes you have questions. And I think Marvel does a great job at it. Not like DC. Marvel does a great job where when you have the solo movies, the threat is big, but it's not big enough to be like, well, maybe we need the Avengers for this.
Yeah.
It's never like event level of threats in terms of like, well, Thor, like for example, Thor Ragnarok. It was a big threat, but it wasn't on Earth. So that makes logical sense for the Avengers not to be there. Ant-Man. It wasn't really a big event. It was just something that was going on in the town. That's nothing you would call the Avengers for. Even Captain America, with the whole thing with Hydra and things like that.
What?
That's more
that Hydra situation. That was pretty big. So
this is the thing about it that I thought that was interesting about it. The Avengers wouldn't know about that. You wouldn't call the Avengers for that because technically speaking, the Avengers was kind of there.
That is true.
Winter Soldier is not a Captain America movie at all. It's a Captain America movie, but it has Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow. 3 Avengers.
That is true.
So it's kind of like when you have this Suicide Squad. I think the threat to Suicide Squad, I'll give you a perfect example of how they could have done the Suicide Squad movie. Mm-hmm. There's a Suicide Squad DC movie. There's 2 of them actually. One I think is called Hell to Pay. I think they're very entertaining, but they show how the Suicide Squad can be worked out in terms of like, it doesn't have to be necessarily be event level threats. It can be like a big mob boss that they want to get killed, or a drug lord that they can't reach, the government can't necessarily reach, because it'll become a whole international incident. But if these villains go out and kill them, it wouldn't be a problem. It just like gang violence or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think things like that make more sense for Task Force X to be gutting down. Like I think, like for example, I think the perfect bad guy for the first Suicide Squad movie would have been either the Joker or Black Mask.
Well, I guess they're finally getting that right with the no. He's not gonna be
Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah, but that's spinoff of a spinoff. So it's like
yeah, but it makes sense for Black Mask to be a bad guy because he's essentially a mob boss. He's not somebody who's gonna be taking over the world or anything like that, and a big world event level threat. He's somebody that you can see. Okay, that kind of makes sense for the Suicide Squad to go after. Like you have to kill this guy. We can't kill him because if we kill this guy, it's going to be an international incident.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, and I feel like maybe that was the reason why they did something. I don't know. I feel like that was the reason why they didn't call in Batman on Suicide Squad originally. One, because the government just wanted their own source of power. They wanted their own source of supernatural power. So they felt like, we can use them like our attack dogs. We don't need one, because they don't like Batman because they think of him as him like a vigilante. Like, you're doing our job. You need to, you're breaking our rules, and you're not teaming up with us. You're trying to do our job for us. So they're saying, okay, well, you know what? If we got supernatural beings out here, we got to have our own supernatural power. So I think the reason why they didn't call them is just out of pride. But still, they should have shown up.
Even so, if that's your excuse, if Batman sees a big laser coming out of the sky, it looks like the apocalypse is happening, he's going to come. That wasn't like a small event. Like,
yeah, he still should have shown up. Superman should have shown up.
Somebody, I think Superman. I'm not sure. Is Suicide Squad after Justice? Not is Suicide Squad after? Yes, it's after Batman versus Superman. So technically, Superman was dead at the time, so that makes sense. But Wonder Woman was alive. Aquaman was alive. There's other people who were very much alive and established that didn't show up.
Yeah. I can't. There's nothing I can say against that. The whole movie was kind of messy. It was just them trying to really build off the Guardians of the Galaxy hype, and it really came off real sloppy. I mean, honestly, for the same reasons I didn't like Suicide Squad, I didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy, because in both cases you had this group of people that didn't know each other, and in some cases didn't even like each other. And for some weird reason, out of nowhere, they just became family. And it's like, why? How did this happen? They didn't even take time to really develop relationships, to have situations where it was like, oh, okay, I see that you really did something for me, or for whatever reason, it just happened.
I think in Guardians of the Galaxy, especially 2, it works a lot better for them. Because you can see the camaraderie, you can see they give like certain little things that let you know, okay, these people are friends. Like a perfect example of that is how Rocket Raccoon kind of like, and it shows in like later, I think it's an Infinity War, where he starts listening to music himself because he picked up on what Star-Lord was doing all that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they start picking up on each other's habits, and like, what is his name? Drax and Star-Lord are basically becoming best friends because they hang around each other and they're getting each other's jokes and things like that. I think they do a good job on building on that. I can understand what you say about the first one in terms of like how these guys come together, and this is not necessarily a big spoiler. They didn't like each other at first, and they come together to kind of save the world at the end, and it's unbelievably amazing and all this stuff. But I think the difference is that Guardians of the Galaxy kind of builds upon that and builds upon that friendship. So when you have the big events, like what happened in Infinity War, it means a lot more. Yeah. As opposed to with Suicide Squad, it's kind of like, all of a sudden these guys, they're going through an event. These guys are friends, and after it's over, you don't really feel like they're friends.
Yeah, and it's it's really just all about how they did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like how you were saying with the with Guardians of the Galaxy, how they actually build on that relationship to make it believable. Yes, they did that really well. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I thought it was like a billion times better than Guardians of the Galaxy 1, where I thought that one was kind of trash. But and the way they could have done Suicide Squad to make it more believable, and they tried to do that. It was sort of like the Misfits, like they're all kind of bonding in the way that they felt like outcasts from society. You know what I'm saying? And so they kind of bond on that fact. Like, we're all kind of like, we're all misfits. We're all outcasts, you know, so we can relate to each other. But it just didn't, it didn't happen gradually. It just, boom, we're family. It's like, what?
Yeah,
like,
it
really?
happened.
Yeah.
Like when they just went in the bar. Essentially, they went in the bar, had a drink, then all of a sudden they're all like family all of a sudden after that drink.
Yeah, it was the weirdest trash. And but whatever. I mean, I understand there's only so much time. It's not a TV series. They can't really take time to really do relationship building, but it could have been done better than that, is all I'm saying.
We're gonna have another conversation on one of these episodes of Skyward Cast about movies being enjoyable as opposed to being good. Because I think bad movies can be enjoyable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I think there's some elements of Suicide Squad that's enjoyable, but that doesn't make it a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of movies like even Batman vs Superman. I don't think it's necessarily a good movie, but it's very enjoyable.
I actually think it's, especially the ultimate cut. The ultimate cut really fixed a lot of the problems that it had originally, and I think it's actually a pretty solid film. So
I don't think it's good, but I think it's entertaining. It's very entertaining to me, I think, personally. I wouldn't call it like a great. I wouldn't put it on. Let's put it this way. If I was to compare it to Marvel movies, I would put it up there with Age of Ultron.
Yeah. I understand. I totally get what you're saying. Like the way it's structured, it's a chaotic mess, but it's still pretty good. You know, like I'd say it's just there are elements of it that are really good. It's just it's all jumbled together in this package that's just like some points you don't really know how to feel. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I will even say this. I will say this. Ben Affleck is the best Batman to me.
Oh heck yeah!
His portrayal of Batman is phenomenal. And it's a damn shame that we didn't get that movie.
That warehouse scene?
That warehouse
scene?
Batman.
Oh my God.
The fact that when he was in what was it, like the party, and the Mercy, I guess it was Mercy. She saw him and he was like, oh, I'm just drunk. I don't know what's going on. And oh, nice shoes. He was playing like he was aloof. That's how you kind of want to see Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is kind of looked like as a playboy idiot. And he did a great job at that. And I think I would have liked to have seen more of that in the detective side of Batman in the movie, because even as great as people like the Dark Knight movies and things like that, if you go back and watch them, there are some elements in the movies that are like the fight scenes aren't that great.
I never really thought any of them were really that great. The Joker is what really
made it good.
Is what really brought the most attention to that series. I mean, before that, Christian Bale's his Batman was just kind of
okay.
Mediocre at best. You know what I'm saying? Especially with that voice, it's like, where are the drugs? Like, what's that?
It's not like he was. And I've said it before. I thought I think Michael Keaton's a better Batman than Christian Bale.
I never saw his. I wish.
You never seen the original Batman movies?
Nah. What year did those come out?
I recommend watching the first one, 89 Batman. 89. It is excellent.
That the one with Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yes. No, Michelle Pfeiffer is in the second one, if I'm correct. Batman Returns. Am I right by that?
Batman Returns. Oh, I can easily look.
Batman Returns is the ones with the Penguin. Michelle Pfeiffer plays Catwoman, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then she's in the second one.
You know, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'll look it up a little bit later. But yeah, I definitely, I would love to sit there and just have a nice little marathon of all of them to get a little taste, because I enjoyed those ones with Batman and Robin, and the one with Alicia Silverstone, and I kind of mix them up because I know there was the one with Alicia Silverstone, there was the one with Uma Thurman as Ivy, and Arnold as Mr. Freeze, and I know I enjoyed those more campy ones, but the ones before it I didn't see.
I will tell you this, man. If you enjoyed those, I think you will like 89 Batman a lot, because it's not really campy. It's meant to be taken on serious, but the way it is, the way it builds that world of Gotham feels like a place, like its own place. It doesn't feel like, for example, the Dark Knight Batman, Gotham feels like it's Pittsburgh. It doesn't feel like it's Gotham City. It feels like another city in like Detroit or Pittsburgh or something like that. The Gotham in the 89 Batman movie feels like Gotham City. It has its own unique look, its own unique style to it, and it's so cool how they do it. It's almost over exaggerated like a comic book in terms, and it's such a cool dark film.
I kind of remember seeing, like, when you're describing it, it's like I'm remembering clips of it, man. Like, and you know what? That's that little what you were talking about, how you can actually feel the city. The city itself has its own character. That's what I felt was missing from especially the most recent Batman. Like, when you look in the background at Gotham, like even in Batman versus Superman, everything was like, it had this layer of haze over it. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't really see any of the character. It just looked like any like dark, gloomy New York-ish type city. You know what I'm saying? It didn't really have much character to it at all. And yes, even the Dark Knight trilogy, it really didn't have much flavor to it at all. Dang,
I'm going to say something that's going to surprise people. You know what does that good? A good portrayal of Gotham City? The Gotham TV show. If you ever watch that show, they do a pretty good job on giving you a look at how Gotham City should look. It kind of has this industrial, dark, weird kind of gothic feel to it. And it's pretty good, whether you like the show or don't like the show. And there's people on both sides of that. They give you a pretty good take on how Gotham City should look.
I'd hope. I mean, it's been on for seasons. And it's supposed to be based around it, like, so. I mean, I'd imagine. I got. Have you seen it? Have you watched it? Or
I watched the show. I watched the show. It's a rough start. Like, those first few seasons are not really that great.
Oh, you're that deep into it? Okay.
Yeah, I've watched. I want to say all the seasons, but as it's gone on, it's gotten better, and I think it's actually watchable now, because this is the final season. They've gotten to the point where you're starting to see the kid that you watched 5 years ago, as this little boy who they were telling you, well, this is going to be Batman one day. You're starting to see that come to fruition, and I think that's pretty cool.
You think they'll take that and turn that into another series?
I would like to see that. I would like to see a Batman Year One series. I would like to see, and people are probably going to kill me for this, but I think this is something I definitely should think happen. I would like to see a CW version of Batman.
CW version. I mean, definitely not. So more Arrow, less, of course not like Smallville.
Have you watched the Arrow shows?
No, but I got a decent vibe for what it is.
Well, they had a crossover episode with Batwoman in it.
I watched some of that,
and she was played by Ruby Rose, and it was excellent. She looked just like Batwoman. She acted like Batwoman, and it gave you kind of the feel like, damn, I want to see the Bat family in this universe. Yeah,
she surprised me. I when I first. Me not really knowing too much about her character, and just like seeing her, kind of here and there, when they announced that, I was like really, are they doing this just as like sort of like a political statement, or like what's the deal? You know what I'm saying?
That's another conversation we can have another day, by the way.
I mean, yeah, that happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They'll stick people in roles where they don't really need to be, just to make a point. But no,
Or they'll
she
make
did. She
movies
did.
just to make a point.
Hmm?
Or they'll make movies just to make a point.
Yes, yes, and I was hoping that this wasn't that, and she did a good job, especially in
Yeah.
the suit. It was like who she is outside of that gets lost in the suit, and that's what you want. You want her to completely become a different person.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
Did an excellent job with her. I felt like, damn, she's Batman. I think that if I'm correct, they're doing a Batwoman series for CW. I'm like, if this, and I looked at it after that episode, I was like, if this is going to be the CW's version of Batman, I am absolutely fine with this because she did an excellent job.
I'd definitely give it a chance. I definitely give it a chance if they come out with it. Especially with all the praise that they got after that episode. There's no way that they're not gonna make that. So I'd expect it around 2020, maybe at least to be announced in 2020.
Well, especially since Arrow's ending.
Oh yeah, then they got a slot open. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announce it soon and you get like the trailer on the series finale night for Arrow.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a whole other conversation for another day. I'm saying that a lot today, but Arrow is one of my favorite shows on TV.
Why are you holding stuff off, man? If you feel
because we have a lot of stuff, we still have to talk about this stadium. I want to get to that definitely. That's gonna be our main topic. I want to get to that next, but. Let me just say this short about Arrow. Arrow is probably my favorite superhero show because people give it crap, and that's fine. I understand people's grievances with the show and things like that. But Arrow is like the first show to get it right on how a superhero show should be. Before we had the Luke Cages and the Daredevils of the show that we critically acclaimed and things like that. Oh, this is awesome. This is dark. This is gritty. This is what we want. We had Arrow. And Arrow, when I first heard the show was coming out, I'm like, because my first thought was it was going to be the Arrow from Smallville. I'm like, this is going to be cheesy. This is going to be corny. And I don't know if you remember this, but the pilot leaked because this was around the time where for some reason, all the CW's pilots were leaking. Like they had a pilot for Aquaman that leaked out that you can go on the internet and watch it. They had a pilot for a Wonder Woman TV show that leaked out.
This sounds really familiar.
Yeah, they had a pilot. Yeah, all these shows were leaking out, and the Aquaman one wasn't that good. I think it was a few years before Arrow. And so the pilot for Arrow leaked out, and I watched them like, this is really good. It's dark, it's gritty, it's giving you a feel like this is how the Green Arrow would be in our world. He didn't call him I'm the Green Arrow. He was just literally a vigilante out there killing people who he felt was hurting the city. And I thought that's a cool concept for the Green Arrow. And slowly but surely you started watching this world that he is kind of the focal point of grow bigger as, you got characters like, and people were like, don't pay it as much mind, but John Diggle, for example. He becomes an African-American guy with military experience, basically becomes the Arrow's sidekick in a sense, and his partner, like his fighting brother in arms. And this is John Diggle, for those who don't know, is not a DC character. They made him for the show. And his character was so cool, they put him in the comic books.
That's nice. I had no idea. I thought it was just another, sort of like Tony Stark. What's my dude's name? Yeah, it's like a Tony Stark Rhodey situation, straight out the comic. Oh, but that's pretty cool. Still is kind of like that, right? But
yeah, pretty much. It's cool. Even Felicity in the comic book, she's not a really big name character, but Arrow took this character that people didn't know and made her a big deal and made her cool and like, oh yeah, she's this tech genius. In the comic book, she's like a spoiled brat, millionaire, stuff like that. In the show, she's this tech genius. She's brilliant, and she's like his love interest. And the way the show progresses and develops is so interesting. How they do things like, and for Arrow fans who know this, the DC movie universe kind of killed the show. in a sense.
Really? How did that happen?
Because they had a lot of plans they wanted to do, and because the DC Cinematic Universe happened, they were like, "Oh, you can't do that no more." Like, for example, Arrow had his own version of the Suicide Squad, but because the movie was releasing, they're like, "No, you got to get rid of your Suicide Squad." Arrow had his own version of Captain Cold and Heatwave and all that stuff, and a lot of the villains that the DC Universe used were originally on Arrow because the DC movie universe, which is stupid, are using the characters. They just said the Arrowverse couldn't use them. Like one of the things that happened was, for a long time they were planning on bringing in Superman and Harley Quinn and all these characters, but because these characters was getting movies, they didn't want them on the show.
And then they end up putting Superman in Supergirl, which is like,
yes, because everything because the DC Cinematic Universe is basically failing. So it's crazy to say that, but that's kind of what happened. Like, if you watch the big crossover from Arrow this year, there's a scene where they go to Arkham Asylum, and they reference all sorts of DC characters, and it's really cool. Like the Penguin and all these other characters that they couldn't even reference because of the DC Cinematic Universe.
So that's the point of like them creating that like solid division between the TV series and the cinematic universe, right?
Yes. And,
so now they can have the doubles, and it really won't matter.
Yeah, now they're starting to let the doubles happen and stuff, but it did its damage already because like Arrow had to get rid of a lot of stuff because I'm like, no, you can't have this character. No, you can't have this character. And there was a time where people were like, when they first announced Ezra Miller as the Flash, a lot of people was like, no. You already have an awesome Flash. Why don't you use him?
I actually did kind of want to see that Flash. So I understand. So that's the perfect. So they're actually fully justified then, because that is, now that you say that, I didn't even watch the Flash, but just based off what I saw, I was like, this Flash, I like his suit. I just like the more lighthearted vibe. It kind of matches what I remember about the Flash versus, was it Ezra Miller's, which, I mean, his still turned out to be a lot brighter than I expected. I thought he was just going to be more edgy. He just has that look to him. But but they also went too far in another direction. It was like they made him kind of strange, like almost like is he maybe on the autistic spectrum? Is like he's that kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which there would be nothing wrong with, I mean, making him like an autistic character. I mean, they did that with the Power Ranger, the Blue Ranger, which it worked out fine. And a lot of people would really appreciated that, but it felt too far from what a lot of people knew from that character, and what they wanted. Like I just didn't want that anyway. That's a line you gotta ride easy with that one. I don't want to come off politically incorrect, but that's just
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's get into Stadia.
Yeah. See, it's
Google
so trash. You can't even remember it.
Google announced their gaming platform Stadia, which is supposed to come out this year, if I'm correct, right?
This year, I think they were doing demos. Like they're gonna kind of do like a slow rollout, and so I think you could sign up for it, like to be a part of the test group. But
so, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it's streaming. I mean, it's the same way I felt about PlayStation Now, On Live, Gaikai. Well, the Gaikai was PlayStation Now before Sony bought it. I don't know. All this stuff is cool. It's convenient. I like it as an option. But this industry is full of greed. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like they're eventually going to try to box all consumers into it, or push us all into a corner where that's pretty much all we got is access to streaming. of course, they're gonna roll out the 5G, and they're gonna woo us with all the convenience. They're gonna say, okay, well, you can play all your games. You don't have to worry about where you are. You could be anywhere as long as there's a strong 5G connection. You can be playing on your phone, your tablet, your anything. But that eliminates so many freedoms from us because we won't have access to the hardware. We won't really have the freedoms to what happens to mods and then also the freedoms of just being able to play when you're not near a stable network. You know what I'm saying? I don't like reliance of, on the network constantly. Like it sucks for online games. I don't want to have to worry about that for single player games. And I know I'm talking about something that's 10, 15 years in the future, but I know where it's going. Huh?
It might not be. People are kind of trying to push this. Maybe 3, 4 years from now, it might be a future where this is a thing. And let me give my quick thoughts on it first. I think it's a good thing, but I think this episode of the podcast is the perfect reason why I don't think it should work. We are just streaming a video and we crashed 3 times. And exactly. I have relatively good internet. So it's gonna be how is this gonna work when you have 4K video game streaming? And a lot of people have data caps. Like a lot of companies, like for example, AT&T have 1 terabyte data cap, and 4K streaming takes up a lot of data.
That's the perfect situation. So we're boxed into a future where consoles and gaming is just done over streaming, and then they're not just gonna say, oh well, you know what? Let's remove the data caps to be convenient to you. No, now you can only game online, and you have to pay more and more and more to get bigger packages. So it's not convenient. You gotta really pay attention, because just like in anything in business, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. If whatever they're giving you, you have to know that they're getting 4 times as much on their part. They're not just going to give you something for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if they're giving us streaming, talking about convenience, okay, well, what are you getting from this? Not just money, but they get more access. I understand it's to prevent piracy, because we won't have access to we want to have access to hardware. We can't manage anything. It's just streaming. We're just basically paying for access so that we can remote control some PCs in a server farm or wherever. It's the complete elimination of ownership. And I think those freedoms are worth it, are worth a slight inconvenience. The fact that these things that we do now are even considered conveniences or inconveniences, it just shows how lazy we're getting. There's so many things that you can sacrifice for streaming. That's just like automation, right? Job automation. Will it make things easier in some cases? Yes. But is it worth the elimination of the millions of jobs that are going to come? No. I know they're not to be compared. One is
that's a perfect example. That is an actually perfect example, because it's almost like, what is it worth to you?
Exactly.
Is that little convenience that you're going to get worth losing a GameStop? I'm not saying this because I'm pro GameStop or anti GameStop, but that's something that I feel like we need places like GameStop around that celebrates gaming, in terms of like, you can go in there and you can see all your things that you like to see, that you can be around your people in terms of like, hey, you like this game? You like this game? Oh, we can talk about this. We can talk about it. Oh, you gonna play Fortnite tonight? Yeah. You can have these conversations about gaming with real people, not necessarily conversations that you're having on the internet over Twitter or things like that. And you can go to these midnight launches and things like that. You can have these experiences that you would not necessarily have if you're just streaming everything in your house.
Yeah.
And I think that's very valuable to not only just gamers, but just to human psyche, to be able to go out there and communicate with others. And I think the world is getting to that place where we're losing that part of our humanity.
Exactly. With convenience, I mean, these things, they don't replace that need for human to human interaction. You know what I'm saying? It's we're giving up too much of the human element, like in everything, just for convenience. And it's not only like just messing up the way we communicate, but it's sabotaging our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Like people are, I know we're kind of drifting, but all of this is a part of a bigger problem. How technology is offering us conveniences, but at the cost of our stability, like as human beings. Like we're losing our,
we're losing a lot.
Yeah,
we're losing our compassion for one thing.
Yes, we're just losing so much.
We're losing our compassion. We're losing our empathy. We're losing the ability to talk and have thought-provoking conversations with each other because we are so focused on our technology and those type of things that at the end of the day, it could easily be our downfall. Like how many people have we seen where because they can't put down their phone, they have Twitter fingers, just destroy their life. Yes. Because we're so focused on technology. And this is funny coming from a podcaster, but we don't need everything to be heard. We don't have everything we have, our thoughts, all of our thoughts don't need to be heard out there in the ether.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything that we say doesn't need to be taken for what it is, you know, and you have to kind of get that human element. Like those 120 characters, whatever characters it is for Twitter, it's only like a clip note of our lives. And we get so focused on that, we don't realize that there's so much more. And I think we're losing that part of our humanity.
Yes. We're losing humanity, and it's only going to get worse. Like I watch so much. I mean, I know I don't want to come off like a conspiracy theorist, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's common sense. You see where things go. Humans, you give humans an inch and they take 10,000 miles. Okay. AI is coming and you're going to need something. We're going to need something to quickly interact with AI. So it's like our minds are going to connect to it. We are going to become machines one day. Well, you know, partly, you know, so it's going to happen. I wish it didn't. Yeah, you know, not to go so far in the future, but I mean, this could be, for all we know, that this technology advances so quick, and then you're going to have technology building technology. So it's going to happen, and it's just going to happen like that. You know?
Yeah, because of convenience, essentially. How much are we willing to give up for convenience? That's the biggest question here with this whole Stadia thing. And exactly. I know it feels like we're making a big deal out of nothing, but
this is it's really just multiple. It's just multiple conversations. This is just one part of a bigger conversation, and that's why it feels like we're taking something that I'm sure some people are listening and they're going to say but it's just about gaming, bro. Like you're making it like this big life-changing thing, but it's just one part of our whole society and where society in general is going. And like, are you willing? It goes into the area of privacy. What privacy are you willing to give up? Because when you eliminate your access to the actual hardware and everything you do is going through, you're just remote controlling someone's server. Everything you do, if you have access to a browser on there, they have access to, I know someone's able to see what you browse anyway, but your files, all your locally stored files, if it's on your system, right, your Stadia system, because if it's a PC, I mean, you could have an account, you could have things associated with, everything is out there. I believe we will get to a point where and then we could take it back. We could take it back to just Stadia, because I feel like we're going into a whole different place. But I feel like this, as far as technology and everything being in the cloud and on servers, I feel like we'll get to a point where your phone, your PC, everything you do will just nothing will really be local. You know what I'm saying? A few things will be local, but pretty much everything and where it's coming from will just be server based. It will be server based, and everything will just be consumed through a subscription. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's going to be benefits. They're going to talk about the benefits You won't have to worry about running out of storage because everything will be in the cloud, and the network will be everywhere. But then once again, you're putting everything and you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And if the bottom falls out of that sucker, splat, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where we're going.
And we've had so many examples of something like that sort of happening in terms of like how we've had the big PlayStation outage where people's accounts were compromised and all kind of credit card data was taken and things like that. That was a big deal. And that wasn't too long ago. Then you had the big old the iPhone hacks where all these celebrities news got out and everything like that, and complete invasion of privacy. Whether people enjoyed seeing this or not, that's not the point. People's privacy was invaded. So what happens when we're relying on this internet so much and this cloud, as we call it, so much that we're putting our personal stuff on there, and all of a sudden medical records get out. Things that are essential to us get out. Government documents get out. We have to kind of be wary of what we are willing to give up.
Yeah. And people are getting clever. I mean, people have always been clever, but they're getting more clever every day. And just the fact that you're going to have technology and easy ways to transfer information from device to device. It's going to be easier than ever. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like NFC style, and people are going to find ways. That's just like I saw. Anyway, it's how are we going to protect all this? How are we going to plug all the holes? And I know you're going to have more people on cybersecurity. That's just going to be one of the major waves of the future. But it's just, there's just so many ways it can go wrong. And one outage, with everything relying on the internet, all you need is one major outage to result in possibly thousands and thousands of deaths. If everything is on this network, you know what I'm saying? Or yeah, I mean, if everything is on that level and it just goes out, it could be a digital outage could have the same effect as a natural disaster on an area where people feel helpless because they're no longer connected to everything that they need. You know what I'm saying? You know how people get to going ham when everything shuts down after a natural disaster. So what would happen if everything is packed onto the network and it goes down? I don't know. It's just
big problem.
This is dark, but this is dark, but it's just, it feels like a future. It feels like it's gonna happen, and our reactionary government will, like, of course they will react, but they don't think ahead. They're not as proactive as they should be. So they're not thinking of all these things in a way to prevent it. And so there won't be any way to actually fix this stuff until it happens. By then it'll be too late, and lots of people will be negatively affected by it. But
so Google Stadia. We should probably actually talk about the product.
Yes, we should talk about Stadia, but you know, it's that's just the thing, man. Like it's hard for me to compartmentalize that when it's just a part of, and it's one element of a future that I feel like we're trying to get, or companies are trying to get us prepared for. Because you know they trickle things in real easy. So it's like at first we get you used to relying fully on streaming for your gaming, and then we move it to other things. Well, first it was TV, obviously, and then your gaming, and then everything will be streaming, full reliance on the network, all eyes on everything you do. But we'll take it back to gaming. As far as Stadia,
it sounds cool.
It sounds good. I like the features. I
4K
some of the features,
resolution, 60 frames per second.
60 frames
supports
per second.
HDR.
With a good network, 60 frames per second.
Yes.
But you know, I played I actually got it. Did you ever get a chance to check out the Google Project Stream, I think?
No, not at all.
I got a chance. They let me in the program, so I got to play Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Playing on Project Stream, which is now Stadia. So it was surprisingly smooth. Like, honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference between playing AC on a console locally and playing through, but I was on Ethernet also. And I was just on a regular business class, office class PC. Didn't require anything special. I was playing through Chrome. I go to the page and click start. Plug in a controller, and there it is. I'm playing AC. So the convenience is there. It plays beautifully. Now, I can imagine you got a whole interface around this and a library of games. It would be ultimate convenience. I could take that anywhere, play it on my phone. I'm holding up my phone. No one else can see this. On a laptop, anywhere. I could see that it could be a big winner, especially for people that can't own their own hardware. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the money to own your own hardware and you're actually using their servers, this really could be a big deal.
I will say this because we've been negative about it. I will say this. I don't have a problem with it as long as we have options. What I mean by that is, as long as Stadia is not the norm in terms of like, okay, you can get Stadia if you want to, but PS5 is console, traditional console. They may have a Stadia type version of it, but you have a PS5 that's regular console version. You can do that regular way. Xbox, the same thing. Well, Nintendo's not necessarily going to, I don't think they're going to get into that anytime soon because they're usually behind the ball. They're usually like console centric. That's not necessarily their.
They've been doing that. Those games. Remember, like they had Resident Evil 7 exclusive. It was streaming. Yeah. So they're in. Yeah, but they're on it already.
They have more of a stable network than we have.
True.
So that's why I don't think they never brought it here. I honestly think if they knew it would work here, they would have brought it here. Like ASAP, especially a game like Resident Evil 7. If you just say, hey, we're bringing Resident Evil 7 to Switch, people would go crazy.
So you think it's just like testing ground and then
most likely
roll it out? Okay.
It's like I say, but I think it's one of those things like, as long as you have the choice, that's my whole thing.
I love choice. Go ahead.
No, you're right. It's if you have the option, like, okay, you can either go with Stadia, which is cool. That's if you want to do that thing, that's cool. Or you can have PS5, which is console, traditional console. You can buy a disc, or even if they don't have disc, you don't have to stream your game. You can just download the game to your system, and it's your game. I'm fine with that. I think as long as we have options in terms of how. And I know one of the things people always say is, oh, a digital-only future would be great. Look at Steam. No. Let's be clear. Just because Steam does it the way they do it doesn't necessarily mean Xbox and PlayStation is going to do it the same way. And the example of that is we've seen proof of it as it is now. PlayStation has plenty of digital games. And the ones that they discount aren't getting discounts like Steam, even when they're coming on the release date. The game's $59.99 in stores. It's $59.99 in the digital market. They're going to make as much money as they can. And if you get rid of the disc, they're not going to lower their prices. That has not been something that Sony's been doing traditionally.
Exactly.
So just because they're like, oh, we're not making disc anymore, we're just going to make a digital-only console, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to lower their prices on their games. Their games are still going to be $60, if not more. And I think people thinking that they're not going to be is a little bit naive to the situation of the history of Sony. Sony is not out there to be like, we're going to make all the consumers-friendly decisions. When they started making consumer-friendly decisions, it was because they were losing. It's because they were falling back. It wasn't because we want to help the people out. It was because, no, we made a huge mistake. This is the same company that the beginning of PlayStation 3 was like, PlayStation 3 $600. If you can't afford it, get a second job.
Yeah. And the same can be said for. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
All the systems. It's not like just because we're going digital only, they're going to just make everything cheaper for us. No, they're going to get what they can get because they can get it. And as long as they know that the market calls for it, they're going to just do just that. Just like how, if you notice, once Amazon's competition went away, like Best Buy's Gamer Club went away, Amazon stopped really giving the discounts for games. They're like, we'll give you one once in a while, but for the most part, you're not getting no game discounts on these games.
That's where my skepticism comes in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could sit here and be the optimist, you know, and just say, well, you know what, because the opportunity is there for them to do right by the gamer, they will. But evidence has shown that they don't do that. So I can, and with the opening where it's just so obvious where they could take advantage of us, I'm just, it would be stupid for me to not look at that and really see that as an option. So I can see many ways where stuff like this could go bad, but I also see the convenience in it. And I can be a pessimist sometimes. So I do need to sit back and think about the positives. Positives are, it is incredibly convenient. It would be amazing to be able to get a grip, snap it on my phone over a network and have low latency gaming anywhere. It would be nice to not have to worry about storage. But, you know, and to be able to plug any little dongle into any TV, I could take it over a friend's house, family's house, say, hey, look, I just got these games. Boom, here we go. I got nice coverage over here, or I could use your Wi-Fi or whatever. We're good and we're playing just like at home. That is amazing. It sounds amazing, but I can't take away and look away from what I would lose. You know, then at that point, everything is out of my hands. So as a side little something, I would like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe as something to complement my home systems, I could have that. I just see the industry going to where this is our only option because it gives them the most control, and that is what they want.
You know, Nintendo guru Bobby brought up a good point on his podcast. If we ran Nintendo, he was like, Google is not known for sticking with things if they don't work out at first. You know,
that is true.
Google Cardboard, Google Glass, they didn't jump out the gate swinging, hitting home runs across the fence, and they kind of just let it be. Who to say that they won't do the same thing with Stadia?
I mean, but, you know, Stadia it's not even really that I'm worried about Stadia. I'm worried about overall game streaming overall, because if it's not Stadia, it might be Microsoft xCloud or whatever the official name will be once it's actually released, or it'll be whatever Sony comes out with, or PlayStation Now. Maybe that'll take off. I mean, which with that you can actually download the game. So, you know, with that, I like that. That's a nice little, like a meeting, you know, a way to meet us in the middle, so I don't just have to stream my games. But if it's not them, it's gonna be someone else, and I can see how they could take advantage of us, and I just don't want that to happen. So, I mean, I guess if we're all involved in the conversation, that's what I want. I just pretty much want gamers to be aware of what can go bad, and not be so like optimist. Oh yeah, that won't happen. There's no way. They love us. They respect us. No, a lot of them don't. You know what I'm saying? What?
They out for this cake.
Exactly. They, like many of us, they are out to get the bag in any way they can. They don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? That they can play like they like us, but you know, at the end of the day, as long as they're getting money, they don't really care. And so I want us to be aware of what can go wrong so that we can prevent those things from happening, really understand our power when it comes to, you know, this industry. You know, we are the consumers. Without the consumers, there is nothing. I hear so many people online and they talk about it's coming. There's nothing we can do about it. Like, you don't understand this. The service can come, but if you don't pay for it, it will go away. Like, don't
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
Xbox had a whole different strategy at the beginning and changed it because people said we weren't messing with it.
Exactly. That shows us, but they forget so quick because they still feel like ants, standing next to a titan when it comes to these companies. When it's truly the other way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe not as individuals, but together, we come together. We come together like freaking Voltron, and we tower over them. We are the consumer. Understand your power. You don't have to just let something happen. So, that's all I want. I just want people to be aware. So when and sometimes it's not always bright, player, but you got to know.
Well said.
Hey, thank you.
Anything else we got to talk about before we head out?
We wanted to talk about Captain Marvel a little bit, right? I know we were talking about Shazam. We can carry that over to another podcast, or I still haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, so maybe.
Well, let's wait till you see it first.
Okay, you know what? That's a good idea.
I want to get your feedback on what you think of it and what you think of others think of it in terms of everything that went on with the movie.
Okay, that sounds good, man. I'm gonna definitely go see that this week. Probably. It's on my schedule. I just got to find somebody to go see it with me. I don't really like going to see movies alone, man. I can do it, but anyway, I'll figure it out. But yeah,
Joey, you're such a handsome man. You should go with your girlfriend or something. Tries like a grandma. Not get it.
Wow, yeah. That stung a little bit, man. It's not happening.
You're a good-looking guy, man. You should be taking a girl to the movies. First date movies with a girl is trash. Don't go on a first date with a girl to the movies.
Oh yeah.
Even though I did that, and later on ended up marrying the girl. That's a rare case. I knew the girl before I went on a date with her. But a first date movies is not a good date.
Yeah, there's no space. There's no space to actually communicate in that. It's just real. I mean, unless I don't know. Well, you'd have to know. You have to know somebody for things to go. Anyway, whatever. I get what you're saying.
We're gonna have a conversation about your dating life on the next episode. The next episode is gonna be strictly about Joey's dating life.
No, we won't do that. But we will talk about some other good news that comes out that week on the next episode of the Skyward Cast.
Any woman out there who's single, Joey's single too. I'll give you his phone number if you DM me.
Oh Lord. Listen, man. No shots there. Look, everybody's attracted to everyone's attracted to someone.
Everyone's attracted to Joey. Shoot your shot.
Listen, no.
Joey's DMs are open.
You'll probably have some rough ones hitting me up.
How do you know that? How do you know
I don't know, man. Your taste in a lot of other areas is a little questionable. So
my wife's good looking. I know what you're talking about. Hit up Joey's DMs.
Don't do that. No, this is not the dating line. We won't do that. We won't do that. We're gonna keep it strictly.
Long walks in the park, and he stays in California. So if any of these things match you, DM Joey, or hell, DM me, and I will DM Joey, and we'll make this happen. You look so uncomfortable right now.
I am very uncomfortable. I don't know why. Hey, ask my sometimes anxious mind why it triggers that way. I don't know. But anyway, it was a nice episode. It was really cool, man. We got into some really nice topics. It was and this one is not going to require too much editing. I know I'm gonna have to edit this part a little bit, but for the most part, I'm gonna let this sucker flow for the best part.
DM Joey.
All this is just gonna be
and ready to mingle.
It's gonna go straight from the end of that Stadia talk to all right. Thanks everyone for listening. Oh man. But all right, man. If anyone happens to not know exactly where they can find you or where they should be checking for you, let them know. I mean, they usually know, but just throw it out there.
You can find me on Twitter at Delvin_Cox. You can check out my other podcast, The Delvin Cox Experience, anywhere you get fine, fantastic podcasts. And I'm doing a little bit of fun stuff on YouTube. I'm having a little fun on YouTube, trying different things. Check it out. I did a review for us. I did an unboxing. I did something else that's coming out later on this week. So just check it out. I'm just having fun. Seeing how it works out. Might put some more stuff on there.
Yeah, I haven't checked out that Us review yet. You know what? I didn't check it out because I didn't see the movie yet. Is it a spoiler review?
Spoiler free. Spoiler free.
Okay, good. I'll probably have to check that out, man. But I like that controller unboxing. That controller looks fire.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
Looks expensive like a mug, though.
Oh, it was. It most certainly was.
Yeah. But all right. Hey, if you want to contact me, you can go check me out at twitter.com/SkywardKing. Make sure to go check out go follow the SkywardCast Twitter page at twitter.com/@theskywardcast. That's pretty much it.
Also, make sure you DM Joey. He accepts pics too, by the way. If you want to send him a picture and you're a pretty girl, send Joey a picture, how you look. Send him a hey with the wavy hands and things like that. Holla at your boy Joey. Good looking kid.
Look, if you happen to be an attractive female and you send me a message, I won't object to some casual conversation. but
he's learning. See, he's working.
But we're not gonna turn this into the dating line. Anyway, we gotta go. It's been a nice episode. Thank you for listening. If you wherever you're listening, if you listen to it on YouTube, please subscribe for new episodes. They will be coming more often. So subscribe for that. Hit the bell if you don't mind. Like I said, give it a like. If you're on iTunes, please give us a nice rating because it helps other people find the podcast if we get enough of them. And, it's just a way for you to show your appreciation.
Let me add on to this, by the way. If you rate and review the show, that's one way you help the shows get to the top of the charts.
Exactly.
So the more reviews you get, the more your show will get on the top of iTunes charts and charts like that. So it's very important that you review these shows. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the listens, even though it's important to listen to the show as well. But reviews help a lot.
Exactly. And we would very much appreciate that. So with that said, thank you all for listening. And we will catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.